Hello everyone, I'm a member of Group 13 of class CC01. I will represent about our project, Student Smart Printing Service. And this is our group member. This is our outline. Although I have mentioned all the stakeholders in the report, but due to the limitation of time, we will present next to the class diagram.
Okay, so this is the diagram design of our group. Here we only take 5 of them to capture the general of our system. The first one is going to be the use case diagram of the whole system. So as you can see here, we identify SSO and student as the actors. Both of them are the user of a system. So the student is going to have print documents at a use case. So the student will interact with the printer in the use case, and they can also check the balance of their account and also buy additional printing pages through the online payment system. For the SPSO, they can manage the printers and manage the configurations. The SPSO can also view all payment logs of all students and the printing logs of all students and view the reports, which is automatically generated by the system. So this is the use case diagram of the printing module. To perform the print document use case, the student have to upload files, specifying properties, and choose a printer first, and then submitting the request. The printer will also interact in this use case. The printer also send notifications to the student about the printing request, and when notification is sent, the records will be saved into the system storage. And the student will also interact with the SBS or through this UK contact for technical support. And the next one is the activity diagram of the print document. So first, the precondition of this activity is the student have to log in successfully first, and then start by print document, upload files, and when the student successfully upload the files, the processing module will check if the file format is okay. And if it's okay, then the student can move to the next part to specify the properties for the printing request. And then the processing module will check the balance of the student. The student will proceed to choose the printer and submitting the printing request. The processing module then will send the printing signal to the printer to print.
Okay, so in the following part, I will discuss about the architecture design. So our group has decided to choose a 4-layered architecture design, which includes the presentation layer, business layer, persistence layer, and the database layer. So there are 3 main reasons why we chose this architecture design. The first one is it's one of the most popular and widely recognized by many architects, designers, or developers. The second is that each layer is a specific independent role, which means that when you debug or develop a layer, it will not affect the other layers. And the third reason is that all the components are made reusable. So now we'll quickly go through the detailed design. So in the presentation layer, our approach is a web-based, and this layer will interact with the business layer through flex routes. And in the business layer, it will it will define core functionalities like login, user role management, user balance management, or sessions management, etc. And this business layer will interact or communicate with the next layer using CRUD methods. In the persistence layer, it will operate some operation, and this persistence layer will stores and organize retrieves data into the database layer. Additionally, there is a component diagram. First, here you can see the student controller subsystem, and it will interact with the service subsystem through actions like uploading files, specifying properties, choosing printers, or requesting enabling printers, submitting printing requests. Besides that, there's also a managed printer component that will interact with the printer configurations component of the service subsystem through managing printers. After that, the service subsystem will send the printing signal to the model subsystem, and the model subsystem will store and organize data into the database. For the front end, we mostly use the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript together with framework CSS. And for the back end, we used Python with framework Flask, and the database we used was PostgreSQL. And the next part is the demo of our product.
And now is the demonstration of the student printing service. Although our first target was to focus on the printing function for students, but we have extended our project to make a completed system with nearly full function application. First, we have the page for login of student and SPSO. You can choose login by student or login by SPSO account. And as you can see, if I type in the wrong username or password, it will lead to login failed, and now is the homepage of student, which includes some recent news. For the student dashboard, this displays some basic information like paper balance, transaction amount, printing statistic, and some recent printing document. The bot. Here we have the bot chat, which is a way that student can contact to SPSO. They can send a request message for several things like activating printer or giving feedback for an error. And moving on, we have the purchase more paper page. It allows students to buy more paper for later use and show purchase log. And I will buy paper, 10 paper, and click on the button. A pop-up will show up and display data about the number of pages and the total price. Now I'll turn off the pop-up and reload the page. And you can see this transaction is automatically saved into the database. Now I can re-access the pop-up to fulfill the payment by clicking on the show more. We have two options here, and the option confirm. After clicking, the amount of transaction paper will be added immediately to the system, and status now is successfully purchased. The other option will be cancel, and it will be an error. About the transaction log, it is automatically ordered by transaction ID, and we add some filter to sort by status, like the already purchased, waiting to be purchased, and purchase error. And we also do the responsive for the page. And as you can see, when we extend, there will be show up menu, and if not is hidden, and we reorganize some elements like this.
We'll move on to the document printing section. Students can upload file from their computer. The file size must be less than 10 megabytes. If it is larger than 10 megabytes, an error will be reported to the student. Here you can see the error will be reported to the student. Next, student will select the property to print. Here there are 5 properties corresponding to paper size, number of page, number of copies, number of page, number of face per sheet, portrait or landscape, printing. Here I will fill in the number of copy I want is 1, and the number of page of the file I want to print is 2. Finally, the student will select the printer to print. Here we'll display the printer that are ready to print that student can choose. Here I choose printer number 1 at Leadership Faculty, Building B1 and Room 301. Room 101. After printing is complete, the student paper number will be deducted. Here is 103 page. After printing is complete, the print history and notification will be updated. Here, students can view the information of the file they just printed, and in the notification will appear the successful printing notification. In the print history, students can also filter the print history by date and file name for easy review when they need it. For example, I will search for file name SE2, and it will appear here. Or if I filter the file by date and leave the date outside the print time in the table will be empty. Here is the result. This is the printer management page. Here, SPSO can review the configuration as well as proactively disable the printer by selecting the location, including the facility, building, and room. After selecting, all printer at that location will appear. Besides that, SPSO can insert or delete printer at that location. For example, I will view the printer at Leadership Facility, Building B1, Room 101. There are 8 printers here, and I can review the configuration of each machine, as well as disable them if I want. Now I will turn off the printer number 1 in room 101. Here you can see the printer 1 in room 101 is disappear. Besides that, SPSO can insert and delete the printer at that location if they want. For example, I will insert the printer in
room 101. Here you can see the printer is appear, and then I will delete it. Here you can see the printer ID has ID10 will is disappear. Next is the SBSO print history section. Here, SBSO manage the print history of all students in the system. SBSO can filter the print history by student name and by time. For example, I will filter the print history that happened today. Here, you can see here you can see is the result of print history today. And now I will filter print history of student has name khoa. Here is all the print history of student name khoa. The last part is paper purchase history. Here SBSO can see all paper purchase history of student in the system. SBSO can filter paper purchase history by student name or by date. For example, I type the name khoa in the search bar. Here will only show khoa print history. Or I want to filter paper purchase history that happened today. Here is the result. And beside that, SBSO also have the box chat to communicate with students when they have problem.